Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to today's live session. I'm very excited for the amazing conversation that we are going to have today because we are going to take ourselves and our lives to the next level by understanding exactly what we can do in the moments when life feels hopeless. In the moments where it feels like nothing's going to work out in my favor, and in those times in life where you would do anything and everything for a support system, for something, for someone, for just one sign from the universe to tell you it's okay, things are going to work out. Because whether we like it or not, there are going to be moments in life that feel like this. There are going to be those chances that create problems for us, that create big, big, big changes, which ultimately either lead to a breakthrough or lead to a regret. But we all are going to encounter a breaking point at one level or the other. And if you're at one right now, as you're listening to this, I want you to know it's okay, and it's something that you can recreate from. The problem is a lot of times when we are at this breaking point, when we feel lost, when we feel like, where do we even go? What do I even do? The hope that we lose becomes the most expensive thing that we lose. Because the moment we lose hope is the moment things stop working out for us. And if things stop working out, life stops getting better, and everything, literally, the whole idea of existence hinges on hope, hinges on having belief that even though every part of my life, every logical aspect of it is telling me things are not going to work out, can I still hold the faith? And can I still say, you know what? We are going to make it work out. Something's going to happen. For that faith, how to have that faith is exactly what today's conversation is for. Where I want you to know, if you are feeling lost right now, if you are feeling like life has no meaning, life has no purpose, you may be making just one tiny mistake. And that mistake is you may be taking the problems of today and extrapolating them into the future, thinking this is how everything is going to be forever. And the moment we make that generalization is the moment we start to lose hope. And that's the moment we need to stop the cycle in, and we need to think better. We need to interrupt ourselves, and we need to choose better. Because a lot of times I have seen dreams don't get killed because failure happens. Dreams get killed because the person who was seeing the dream, well, he or she stopped believing it could be possible. And belief doesn't require any proof. Belief doesn't require you to have a balance sheet and an income statement and a lot of these different things to show that you're worth it. No. All that belief demands is, can you think in the direction of a better positive future? And that is where hope matters most. Now, if you're lacking in hope, you're lacking in life. And the way to build that hope is to stop this habit that we do of taking a current problem and extrapolating it into the future, making it seem like life is always going to be like this. And I'll give you the perfect example of what I mean by this. I want you to think about your very first breakup, be it with a friend, like friendships can also have breakups, or with a romantic partner. And I want you to think about the exact moment that relationship ended with someone you thought would be with me for my lifetime. And even though it started off rosy with a lot of different plans, in this moment, it can feel like, what am I even doing? Where am I even headed? And the mistake we make is thinking and assuming just because I'm hurting and in pain and heartbroken now, I will be hurting and in pain and heartbroken for the rest of my life. And that's then the moment we hear stories of people who say and people who do things like they commit suicide, they make wrong decisions, they end their life on just something as simple as a relationship ending. Like, if you think about it, one of the most famous romance stories in the world, Romeo Juliet, is based on this whole premise that the love is so strong and the ending of the love so painful that there's no point even in living anymore. Now that sounds good as a romantic ideal. That sounds good like a, you know, poem that you could write, but in real life, it's not that good. If you're having that dependency, then that means something is wrong. But the reason I asked you to think about that first breakup, be it with a friend or with a romantic partner, is simple. Has your life ended because you broke up with them, or because they broke up with you, whatever the scenario may be, right? Did your life end because of that? No. Or did you find someone better or something better that eventually, a few months or a few years later, when you look back at that period of your life, when you were talking to them and when you were interested in them, you're thinking and you're baffled. What was I even attracted to? What was even happening? How did I settle for the bare minimum back then? And that laughter that you get from your own naivety, that's the sign that growth is happening. And that's why I want you to know, whatever situation you may be in, be it a relationship loss, be it a loss of someone you love the most, be it the loss of business, whichever setback it is, it's temporary. It's not going to last forever. This feeling of drifting through the wind, having this haze, is not going to be there forever. So can we please stop extrapolating and extending our present suffering into an imagined future that isn't even real, because that's where hopelessness comes from. So the moment you realize, even though I'm hurting really bad right now, but the truth is, it's not going to last for long. That's the moment you break through. That's the moment change starts to happen, because then you can move on to doing something better, doing something different. And that is finding proof of your own perseverance and resilience. I love and I absolutely agree with this simple perspective in life, that your ability to experience good things in life is directly proportional to your ability to notice them. So if you're feeling weak, if you're feeling hopeless, if you're feeling powerless, chances are you're only focusing on the aspects of your life that are making you feel weak, powerless, and hopeless, and not on the aspects of your life and the stories of your life where you've actually done the exact opposite of what these emotions convey. And that's why I want you to do a bit of a thinking exercise here, okay? I want you to go back in time. I want you to go back, let's say 20 years in the past. Now, if you're very young like me, if you're 19, 20, 21, you may not remember that. So you take 10 years. But for the people who are a bit senior in age, for them, 20 years is a bit of a longer time frame to take, because I really want to put things in perspective for you. 20 years ago, what was the biggest problem that you faced? What was the biggest challenge? What felt like the end of the world to you back then? Take a moment, think about that exact situation. And as you're remembering it, I want you to ask yourself just one question. Was it really the end of the world? Was it really the worst problem ever that you just couldn't solve? Well, you know the answer is no. Because if it was the end of the world, you wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be here. We wouldn't be speaking on something called YouTube. It's as simple as that. So the simple truth is no, the world did not end at that time. But now go back to that moment and feel. Did you feel the world would end? You probably did. You felt it was the biggest setback of your life. But that's only the first part I want you to look at. Now, I want you to look at something different. I want you to go 6 months ahead of you solving that biggest problem or dealing with it or moving on from it. Were you able to do that? Were you able to persevere? Were you able to survive a storm that you once thought would just completely end you? You did. You better give yourself some grace and credit for that. I mean, we are the worst at giving ourselves credit. We are the worst at appreciating ourselves. We will do the most amazing things. We will be the most, the most incredible human beings at some moments, and we'll just treat it as something normal. And be like, oh yeah, that's the thing. This big problem that I'm imagining, which is not even real, which is in the future, which is making me feel lost. That's the real deal. Every single proof in my past of how great, resilient, powerful, and successful I've been, that doesn't matter. What matters is this problem. That's literally what most of us are doing. We are not thinking, how can I be better? We are not thinking, how have I been better? We are not reflecting on our strengths. We are reflecting only and only on our weaknesses, which is why, just like your ability to experience good things in life is directly proportional on your ability to notice them, Your ability to feel powerful and hopeful and courageous and aligned in life is dependent on your ability to notice all the times in your life you have been so, and giving yourself some credit for that finally. Please do that. Make it happen. Give yourself that grace that you know you deserve, and give yourself that confidence that even if I can't see the end of the tunnel yet, I know I'll make it. I know I'm guided. I know I am supported. And I'm not just saying that for the sake of it. I truly mean it. And your own life is an example of that. A lot of times, when things don't work out in our favor, in the moment it hurts. But in the long term, in hindsight, when you're reflecting, you're thinking, hey, wait, you know what? It's a good thing it didn't work out. I wouldn't have been where I am today without that. So, your assignment is, your simple task is, if you are feeling lost, if you are feeling like I'm not able to create the life that I want, I have no idea where I'm headed, stop focusing on the future that's not there yet. Leave it aside. You spend so many days, you can afford to lose a few more without full clarity of the future. But can you go back in the past and rebuild your inner source of courage? Because trust me on this, nothing, and I mean nothing, is going to take you from this bottom point that you are at to the higher point that you want to go, unless and until and unless it is your own courage, compassion, kindness, and love and support towards yourself. In the moments when you're at your lowest, people don't come, circumstances don't align, nothing seems to work. But if you can make it work, and if you have made it work, notice that, build that confidence, and the place that takes you in life is a whole new place where challenges and failure and loss ceases to scare you. When you know my life is full of proof of me dealing with adversity, not just dealing, shining with adversity, glowing with adversity, succeeding with adversity. The next time a challenge comes, the next time a storm comes and knocks you over, you become the person who can never ever be shaken by it. And that, my friends, is true strength. It's not everything always works out in my favor. It is not just feeling blessed. True strength, it comes from this knowing. Send the storm my way. I'll see what happens. When you can have that attitude, nothing in the world, and I mean nothing, will ever stop you. And I'm not being arrogant here. I'm not saying that this is a bad attitude to have, because a lot of people can assume this tone as arrogance, but this is not arrogance. This is being assertive. And a lot of times in life, even in our relationships, if we were a bit more assertive, 90% of our problems would get solved. We wouldn't be facing the challenges that we are facing today. But, anyways, that's a different conversation. I don't want to have it today. Bringing it back to the feeling of being lost. Even in the moments when you're lost, even in the moment it feels like, what do I do? How do I find my way? Can you build enough courage by recounting and recollecting and literally writing down every single time in the past where you have been courageous, where you have been resilient, where you have been the person who persevered through every challenge, and then give yourself the credit and grace for it? Then you will have a literal list on paper as your proof that I'm someone who can make this happen. I'm someone who can grow. I'm someone who can make a change. And that confidence is all you need to bounce back from the state of feeling lost. May take a few months, may take a few weeks, may take a few days, but in your mind the switch is instant. And the moment that switch happens is the moment your manifestations start to work, is the moment life starts to align. But my question is, can you take the time to really recount every single moment of your life where you have been that resilient, great, and courageous person? Sort out the past, notice the good things about the past, and the future itself will also sort out. Because then, when you're looking at uncertainty in the eye, when you're looking at failure in the eye, when you're looking at a challenge in the eye, you can say, try me, bring it on. I'll see what happens. That attitude is going to take you to places nothing else will ever take you to. That boldness will help you take the risks that are necessary for success. That courage will help you persevere through the toughest of challenges, and you will come out the other side like an achiever. And then people will be asking you in those moments, how did you find hope? And I hope if you give me a little shout out, I'll be okay with that. I'll really be happy about that. But even if you don't, that's fine. All that matters is you get the hope, and you start to bounce back. We often think it happens when we move into the future. It doesn't. Move into the past. Recognize the whole past, not just your failures, but also the moments where you really stood out, where you really made it happen. And even if you say, I have no moments like this, I'm sure you do, you're just blind to them. So notice them, bring them to light, let your confidence shine, and the future itself will also align. Thank you so much for listening to this today. I hope it was helpful. I hope it gave you some more guidance on exactly how you can create more success in your life. And I'll see you once again tomorrow at the same time, that is 8:30 p.m. IST. Bye. See you soon.